Hello, everyone. I'm Roadrunner,
And I'm Night Browser.
and welcome to Rock and Alt Read Through, where we go over the various movements of Billboard's Rock and Alt charts. This week we have some Metallica impact from the album drop, a Foo Fighters return, and a few other exciting debuts. But as always, let's start with our top 10, which also, as always, no surprises here, starts with our Rock and Alt wall. Um, at our number one, we have Something in the Orange staying steady at its 10th week at number one.
Hmm.
Uh,
God damn.
and as always, has really good, stable streaming, minimal radio, and it's actually been a full year since it's been released as it's 50 as it's at 52 weeks, which means next week we will definitely see the top four all recurrent on the Hot 100.
God
Um,
damn.
hopefully we can get a shakeup soon, please.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
Two, we have Until I Found You by Steven Sanchez holding steady on its 57th week. Um, it's 57 with some good but falling radio and decent but falling streaming, so no surprises. Um, we could actually interestingly see this fall below our number three next week, which is uh, Bad Habit by Steve Lacy on its 42nd week on some good, stable streaming but faltering radio. And again, no surprises, we
Mm-hmm.
have Sunroof by
Uh,
Nikki Yorn Daisy on its 63rd week, which is still here on some strong radio that is starting to fall, thankfully, and very minimal streaming. So this will hopefully drop a spot soon to our number five, which is Need a Favor by Jelly Roll, whose radio run seems to be increasing and sales remain high and very stable. I have full faith that this can end up closing the gap with our number four soon,
mm-hmm.
um, as it's as Sunroof is falling and this is rising. But we'll have to see. Our
Oh,
number
yeah.
six and number seven stay exactly the same as they were last week, with our number six being Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine. Here, as its streaming continues to fall, and radio still has not made up the difference as it's being very slow to get on board with this
Oh.
and could be actually unseated uh, by our soon by our number seven, which is Dons by Zach Bryan and Maggie Rogers. As streaming has surprisingly stayed stable, didn't seem to lose much from last week at all, but also doesn't seem to be picking up in streaming either. So if it does pick up next week, it'll just be due to its stability compared to others.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see it still on the Hot 100.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's lost all of its Spotify, and it's just been like high on the Apple Music charts for a while now. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, at number eight we have "Here with Me" by David, picking up a spot as the streaming also continues to stay consistent. Does not have much else as David's team has still not tried any meaningful radio promo at all. And
well, I have no idea what the people are at the scope are handling David's career.
yeah, like especially "Here with Me" could have been sent to pop easily, and they just have not tried anything.
Oh, yeah.
Ninth, we have "Void" by Melanie Martinez, whose decent amount of streaming at this point continues to fall largely as Apple album hype dissipates. I can see this having a few more weeks in top 10, but we'll have to see. Thankfully, everything from the album is
Uh,
dissipating.
oh, good.
And with 10, we have a new entry into our top 10 that kind of caught me off guard this week, as I was sure its momentum had faded. But here we have Helen Back by Bakar, which is here as its streaming continues to surge. I honestly have no clue where it's going to go from here. It
That.
just debuted on the Bubbling Under this week.
Oh my.
So,
Oh my god, this is gonna be a thing again, isn't it?
yeah, we'll have to see. I really don't know where it's going to go. But Night Browser, why don't you start us off with our losers and dropouts?
So, both debuts from last week dropped out of the chart completely. Most of the big dropouts and losers came for the Melanie Martinez album, Good. Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius continues to fall hard at 47, and Drive Me Crazy by Lil Yachty also continues to drop from re-entry down to 35. Also, all Lana songs from the album bomb officially leave the chart this week. There's a chance that A&W might or might not make the year end. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
And now for our gains and re-entries. Most of our re-entries this week come from Metallica due to the album release, with the re-entry on the album being 72 seasons, returning at 16. Also, Luke's Arteria returns at 39. Waste by Killswitch is also back after exiting a few weeks ago at 44. Glue Song gets the biggest gain this week due to a remix being released with Clairo from 47 to 35. Blue Haired Girl gets to a new peak from 20 to 15 as streaming continues to gain. And finally, Jack by Hardy continues to dodge recurrency on its 25th week up to 31 as radio gains continue, although from what I've heard, it's the radio gains are kind of slowing down, so I'm expecting it to go recurrent soon.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it should go recurrent soon. Um, Now for our debuts. Um, at number 43, we have Sleepwalk My Life Away by Metallica. So, this is probably my favorite Metallica song of the bunch here. It has so much of that raw energy, which is my favorite part of Metallica songs. Also, the guitar sound a lot more interesting along with the other instruments, and also that sick as hell guitar solo towards the end too. From what I can tell, is the song about whatever character um, this is trying to portray is stuck in like this boring monotony of his own life, which is an interesting topic you don't see much. And yeah, it's pretty well executed and engaging. I'll take it even with the stiff vocals that usually come with Metallica songs with the lead singer. But yeah, pretty good.
I actually kind of disagree here. Apparently,
Oh,
this was supposed to be a sequel to a track off of Blown, which I haven't heard, so I'm going to be judging this as a standalone track. While it revs up at first with a sick opening bass riff, the rest of the song just turns into them redoing Enter Sandman again, at least instrumentally. While it's not a bad imitation, it's not unexpected to see legacy acts reuse ideas decades into their career. I just wish it didn't sound as blatant of a copy. Like, yeah, I did think the lyrics were alright, but yeah, this one was just did not have much to it, at least for me.
yeah, that's understandable. For our number 40, we have Sleep Well by David. And so we have another single here from David, and it's pretty good. Um, some very nice signature uh, D, DIY soft rock that is in his wheelhouse. Even a really nice sounding horn has really nice sounding horn instrumentation throughout. The song seems to be about a struggling relationship, but David is telling this person that no matter how much things aren't working out, he will always be there for them. Although not as good as Worthless, it's still a pretty cute song. I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, like similar to what you said, this is a ballad that wouldn't sound out of place among your list of 70s AM gold, with the lullaby-like melody, the grand strings, and the lovely sax solo near the end. The lyrics detail David dealing with a breakup and wondering what his former lover thinks of him now that they're apart. And while that can be seen as kind of stalkery, to me, David has this mysterious vibe to him in his music that I interpreted it as him playing a character, not necessarily meant to be seen in the right. Overall, this is really good, and I hope his winning streak continues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for our number 38, we have Too Far Gone by Metallica. And for me, I can take or leave this one. It isn't bad per se. It has some really cool guitar solos throughout, but the whole thing just feels so cliche to me. The lyrics
Uh,
about isolation while being relatable also don't sell when the instrumental is like this bombastic. Like there's like a disconnect there. It's just really weird in that sense.
oh yeah. I, 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 this was honestly this was my favorite of the free Metallica debuts here. It's the shortest of the free, but it also means it has the least fat among them. I think the band killed it with the instrumentation here the most, and one of the lyrics I thought were a little big. I thought they were well done for what they were. At least it's not my lifestyle determines my death style.
Yeah. Um, for our number 33, we have Rescued by Foo Fighters. Yeah. Very sad song about the untimely death of their drummer. Um, I'm hoping the making of this track was able to help with their emotional recovery over the tragedy. You can tell that Dave and the rest really poured everything into this. Unfortunately, as a song, it didn't do much for me. I wish it did. I'm rooting for them, but the instrumentation throughout just seemed a bit messy. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not bad, but I wish I found it better.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I have to say, this is their best lead single in over a decade since Rope. The lyrics here, as you said, are devastating, showing the band's despair following the untimely death of Taylor Hawkins last year and wanting to have some kind of hope or be rescued, as the band puts it. And again, as you said, Dave Grohl is just giving his performance his all here. My only gripe is with the production, which is sounds kind of tinny,
Mm-hmm.
but still, I really like this. And with the Foo's reputation across rock radio as a staple act, I expect and hope to see this last.
Oh yeah, I heard it's already shooting up alt radio, so we could
Nice.
see this being here for a long time. For our number 32, we have Shadows Follow by Metallica. And this is my least favorite of the three. This really boring, elongated intro, along with the mindless chugging, that are some of my least favorite aspects of the band. Also, while Topic actually does match the sound of this time, it just runs way too long to build anything up effectively. And yeah, just not good, at least for me.
Yeah. I thought this one was like all right. It's them using their usual fashion, but nothing special compared to even some of the other songs I've heard from the project. I really like the cool guitar solo, but that's it for anything that really stands out here. It's just another okay but unremarkable late period Metallica deep cut, at least to me.
Yeah. Um, for our number 27, we have Unlive by Jelly Roll featuring Yelawolf. And I'll say, at least to me, this is actually pretty decent. Um, it's the typical topics that you can find of Jelly Roll of him trying to cope with his struggles and coming to term with his lifestyle, um, as well as attributing the way he lives to his environment. And that's how you get the title. And while also not having enough strength to stop and trying to warn others. The trap skitters along with the electric guitar fit surprisingly well for me, and Yelawolf not being really like an interesting presence was focused and on topic and really fit the narrative, so it's not like he hindered the experience. There was, I will say, there was this really one weird slut shaming line in the middle of the song. But yeah, apart from that, it was just pretty decent stuff all around.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, is yeah, Jelly Roll and Jelly Roll and Yelawolf collabing makes total sense considering the latter forayed into country rock, with sometimes why last year was Shooter Jennings, an album I thought was pretty underrated. Was that said, this is alright. Though I wouldn't call it bad at all. The themes of living the dirty South and all the rampant drug addiction throughout the era could have been intriguing, but doesn't really up to that much of the. And I thought the trap skitters were mixed a bit too loudly, though. I did like how the electric guitar sounded here, and Jelly Roll sounds a little constipated on the hook. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I bet Yelawolf gave a pretty good verse here. His flow isn't anything special, but his storytelling skills are used effectively, even if it makes Jelly Roll's cracks in his songwriting stand out even more here. Honestly, I think it would be improved if it was a Yelawolf solo track, but as for this, it's just alright.
hmm Um, and our number 20, we have Dancing in the Courtroom by Dominic Fike. As someone who has been a fan of a lot of Fike's earlier stuff, he's just seemed really lost since his demos he released in 2018. Shout out to Three Nights. Um, while while having an impressive array of producers on this, like Kenny Beats, the production is so sterile and sounds so targeted to like stuff like ads and stuff like that. If you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Uh,
Oh yeah.
these lyrics are just seem like word salad that's meant to come off quirky. Like, oh, look at me, I'm saying these like weird phrases, but like I'm really hoping he can rebound quickly because this is just not it for me. If you want some really good stuff from him, go listen to the Don't Forget About Me demos that he released 2018. Those are more worth your time.
Hmm. My experience with like prior to hearing this was is a lot more limited. For me, it was mostly limited to Free Nights and his reworking of the Kiss of Venus with Paul McCartney. Both I thought were all right. This, on the other hand, oh god, the lyrics, as you said, are basically just like entire word salad and don't really connect to each other. And this the production, or at least the sound, it reminds you a lot of COD reggae. It has that stiff, watered down instrumentation throughout, and Dominic here sounds annoyingly smug and nasal. It sounds like Black Bear covering "I'm Yours."
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah,
apt
so yeah,
comparison.
this gets a skip from me.
So what were your awards for this week, Night Browser?
Best of the week for me is gonna go to Sleep Well by David, while I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Rescued by Foo Fighters. Now, this honorable mention for me is gonna go to Sleepwalk My Life Away by Metallica, while the worst of the week will go to Dancing in the Courthouse by Dominic Fike.
Yeah, it was really hard to pick a best of the week. I usually like factor like replayability and stuff like that, and it
Mm-hmm.
ended up going to Sleep Well for me for my best of the week. An honorable mention goes to Sleepwalk My Life Away by Metallica. Um, my
Ah, I see.
dishonorable. Oh,
Oh
sorry. What
yeah,
were you
I
gonna
see.
say?
Oh yeah, I was just about to say. I see. We kind of contrast with our dishonorable and honorable mentions.
Yeah, yeah. Dishonorable mention for me is gonna go to Shadows Follow by Metallica. And worst of the week easily is Dancing in the Courtroom by Dominic Fike.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah. At the very least, we do agree on best and worst of the week.
Mhm. Um, I think that's it for today's episode. For what's coming next week, we might see some Ian Dior songs. Uh, it
Hmm.
would be really funny if some stuff from that 9 hour Mac DeMarco's album debut too. Um,
Oh
but I doubt
God.
that'll happen, sadly. Let's just be thankful Mac isn't Drake, or the the chart would literally be obliterated. Yeah. But yeah, I doubt that anything from the album will debut. Sadly, we would definitely appreciate a like and subscribe. You know you want to comment your favorite debut this week too. We always interested in hearing others people's perspective. And just thank you to everyone who watches the series. We appreciate you very much. I'm Roadrunner,
And I'm Night Browser.
and we'll see you next episode.